It's been a while since I last touched a Huawei Nova phone, and yes, the last one was the Huawei Nova 7, released last year, April 2020. And right now, I have here in my hands the all-new Huawei Nova 8. And I'm intrigued with this one. I know that everything has stepped up with this one, the design, especially the UI. So how about let's unbox this? Hi guys, it's me Richmond of Gadget Cycling and welcome back to my channel. So right now we have here the Huawei Nova 8 and I know that the white box is very similar to the previous Huawei releases. Very nice, very clean, very neat. The all new Huawei Nova 8. So right now we're going to open the box. So outright you can see the phone itself. You can simply just take it out of the box. And I have here the blush gold color and I can say that it's pretty nice. Very neat, and it's almost strikingly similar to the color of the Huawei Nova 7, which is one of my favorite from last year. So let's check other things inside the box. The SIM ejector pin, a nice transparent case, a 66 watts charger, which is pretty fast, as well as a Type-C cable. So right now, let's pull it out of this sleeve. So pushing it and pull it. Wow, you can see the colorway, the blush gold is definitely something good. And yeah, I can say that this color is very attractive, very nice, especially when you hit it with some lightings. It changes color to rainbow, to silver, to whatever color you like. It's really nice and it's really something that I love on a smartphone. So underneath we got the microphone in, USB Type-C port, as well as the loudspeaker. On the one side, it's pretty empty. On top, we have the SIM tray and the noise cancelling mic. Then we will try to take it out and see. It hosts two nano SIM, 4G capable. Now on the other side, we can see there's the volume rocker together with the power button. Up front, we have the 32MP camera. At the back, we have the 64MP quad camera together with the Nova logo down there. And it's a little bit different this time around. Instead of the four camera modules, which is far apart from each other. And yeah, this one is kind of looking something unique, if you ask me. First things first, I can say that this phone is definitely very lightweight. It only weighed in at around 169 grams. My God, you can see it's really light. I really love it. It's really easy to put inside my pocket. Definitely, this is something that I like on a smartphone, the weight. Another takeaway from this phone is the curved screen. I know that when you say curved screen, it's only available on flagship, but this time around on a mid-ranger like the Nova 8, it's already available on this phone. Now, booting up for the first time, you can see the Huawei logo, and of course, it's gonna be my first time holding a phone that's running the Harmony OS. And I'm quite excited. Now the display on this one is a 6.57 OLED with 90 Hz of screen refresh rate. I can say that turning it to the maximum, the brightness, it's really bright. And yeah, I was able to enjoy watching movies, watching YouTube, watching Netflix here on this phone. I was able to watch a couple of videos and watch a couple of my favorite Netflix shows here, Korean novellas here. I really love the display. It's so bright. I can say that the 90 Hz screen refresh rate really does kick in when you're watching some movies here on this phone. I can say that I was able to maximize the screen since the top and the bottom chin is pretty thin. Now, did you know that this phone rocks the Kirin 820E? It's a mid-range chip inside this phone. Now, let's take a quick look at its Antutu benchmark score. It gathered a 390,000 points. For me, it's just right enough for any mid-ranger with this score. I think this even is an upper mid-ranger getting a 390,000 points on Antutu version 9.0.12. Checking iTutu benchmark, 67,000 points. It even has a very decent 3D Mark score, 4,009 points. Now let's try playing some games on this phone. I was able to play the Call of Duty here and I was able to enjoy playing this game, especially when you're kicking in that 90 Hz screen refresh rate on this phone. It's really nice. I can say that it's pretty smooth on my eyes. And of course, the screen is pretty big. 6.57 or OLED and the 90 Hz screen refresh rate is definitely nice. Now, if you ask me what's lacking on this one, probably I would say that it lacks a serious speaker. I only have one speaker, which is firing on my right side, which is of course on the bottom. The loudspeaker on the bottom is just a bit lacking. But of course, you can always use that your favorite Bluetooth headphones, or you can plug in a USB Type-C headphones, which can of course boost your experience while playing the game. Now, my gameplay experience on this one is definitely nice, though there is some frame drops on this one which cannot be avoided, but overall the experience is nice. But of course, this is not yet the best gaming experience that I have on a smartphone. Let's talk a little bit about the camera of this phone. It has a 64MP main sensor, 8MP ultra wide lens, 2MP macro lens, and 2MP depth sensor, and it even have a 32MP front shooter. So how about let's try to go out and take some photos. I've been a big fan of Huawei Nova series. It's capable of taking nice photos, be it outdoor and indoor. From the Huawei Nova series 7 series experience, I was able to enjoy it, and definitely the Huawei Nova 8 has exceeded the Huawei Nova 7 in terms of fast focusing, and of course even better on dark scenes. Now, taking some outdoor shots using the rear camera, I can say that it's nice and it's very punchy. The pictures are sharp. I can say that it's really clear, especially when you're taking some photos with indoor lighting. This one can adjust to its condition and give you that nice and crisp picture. Now, taking some selfie photos, I can say it's also the same. I was able to take in some nice photo outdoors, indoors, low light condition, especially inside a coffee shop wherein it's a little bit dark, just some few halogen bulbs, but it was able to perform. Now, how about let's try to check some videos from its camera. So this is the front camera of the Huawei Nova 8, and I can say that it's really nice. I keep coming back to Huawei Nova series, especially for its camera. It has really nice camera which can take nice vlogs, decent pictures, and of course, awesome videos. Now, this time around, Huawei Nova 8 has especially improved on the design category. It has curved screen, it has a nice back, though the camera has a bit big sensor, but overall I can say that it's pretty light. I especially love the Huawei Nova 8 this time around. It has really improved a lot over the Huawei Nova 7. Now you can see that taking videos at the rear of the camera and up the front of the camera, it's really nice. It's very stable, and I can really say that this one could be a good vlogging phone if you want to start your own vlog. Now, this phone only has a 3,800 milliampere hours of battery, but it can support up to 66 watts of fast charging. Now, I did drain this battery down to 20% and charge it back up to 100, and I'm using the default cable and the default charger. Using my watt meter, I was able to rate it at 66 watts. True enough, and of course, as promised by Huawei, it was able to finish in just 35 minutes. It's pretty fast. But what's nice about this phone, it can last me a whole day on normal usage. Now, some notable specs on this phone, it has in-screen fingerprint scanner, which is pretty much responsive, as well as Bluetooth 5.1, as well as Wi-Fi 5 capable. Now, this one is running on EMUI 12. Inside of it is the Harmony OS. And this is my first time to try the Harmony OS. Now, just want to share you my experience on this one. I can say that this one is very fluid. I can say that it's a nice experience jumping over from iOS, jumping over from Android experience. This one is rather refreshing. Having to check all those refreshing icons over here. Of course, I did try to install all my apps on this one using the pedal search or the Huawei app gallery. It was able to respond. I was able to install everything that I needed here. It's so easy. All you need to do is just go to the app gallery and type in what you need. If you cannot find it there, just head on over to Pedal Search app and you might find it there. It's pretty easy and pretty simple. Now guys, for me, the Huawei Nova 8 is definitely a nice device. Now, having something like this one so light, so portable, having a great camera on this one is definitely something that I want as my next daily driver. So we pretty much covered everything that we want to know from the Huawei Nova 8. And I can see that the design is really nice. It's really attractive, something that I want on my smartphone, something pretty light. And of course, this curved screen is definitely something to die for. And I love the display. It's something that is really attractive on the Nova 8. Plus, of course, the super camera and the fast charging. So, do I recommend this phone? Yes, I highly recommend this one as your next daily driver. So, are you excited to know the price? The Huawei Nova 8 is right now priced at 19,999 for the 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Pretty much worth it. You got almost flagship-like specs, flagship-like look, flagship-like curved screen, and camera. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, click that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos here from my channel. So I'm Richmond, and you're watching Gadget Sidekick. What's up?